Let me do this live stream, okay? Hey, Jason. What's up, you guys? Okay, let me get myself together. All right, live chats. Okay. All right.
What are they chatting about?
Move, Nate.
Are
you on my...
Are they chatting about me?
No, they're not chatting about you. Okay.
What are they chatting about?
Pull this hair up. Because Big Mama's all hot already. Okay, Nate. What did I tell you about being on the videos, okay? As little as we can, okay? Say hi to everybody and then go upstairs and watch your show.
Hi, shut up.
Okay, bye-bye. Or you can do your blocks right over there in that room. Okay. You can do your blocks right there. I don't mind. Just be quiet because I'm doing class right now, okay? What's up, you guys? My name's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. What's up, everybody? This is the Friday night medically assisted treatment support group. I do this every Friday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Welcome to anybody that's new. I'm so glad you decided to come over here and hang out with us. If you are on medically assisted treatment, Suboxone, Methadone, Vivitrol, Sublocade, Naltrexone, Antabuse, medically assisted marijuana, whatever your MAT treatment is, welcome. You are welcome here. There is no shame. There is no judgment here. We are totally inclusive. We want you to feel at home here. I never want you to feel like you don't belong, because I've been there and I know what that feels like and it's not fun. Let me talk to you guys. So the reason I started this group, you guys, is because I was on Facebook and I came out to everybody in the Facebook recovery community and told them that I was on Suboxone. And I was looking around and I was like, you know what? There's really not any support groups for people that are on medically assisted treatment. And so I made some support groups on Facebook, and then I thought, Facebook's toxic as fuck. I'm going to YouTube. And that's what I've been doing ever since. So I've been making videos for almost, this next November will be 2 years. So about 1.5 years I've been making videos on this channel. And it has filled a void in my little soul. I just absolutely love it. I love getting on here and sharing what I've been through with you guys to help other people. I love being able to like let you know what I did, so maybe that way you don't have to go through the same thing. So I am currently on Suboxone. I got put on Suboxone I went to treatment in July of 2015. I got out the beginning of August, like the first week of August. And I remember the day I got out of treatment, you guys. I was sober, and I was just like, wanted to get high. And at that time, my son was in the custody of the state of Arkansas. Hey, guys. And so I thought, man, I want to get high. And this is something I always did. I would go into treatment like 5 or 6 times. I've been to rehab. And I would go through it, and I would get dried out, and I would get dried out. I would get sober, Hey, Georgiana. Hey, girl. And I would get out and I would be like 30 days dry, like miserable, wanting to get high so bad. And then I would relapse. So my husband was out on the outside, right? While I was on the inside, and our son was in the state custody. And so when I got out of treatment, my husband had went and got put on Suboxone, and we lived together. We're husband and wife. At the time we weren't married, but we are now. And my son was in the state custody, you guys, and so I wanted to get high, and that's when my husband was like, listen, I got put on Suboxone. And you guys, I had never taken Suboxone responsibly. I think I had taken it twice before, and it was like I would take it one day and then I never took it again for like 6 months. You know what I'm saying? Like I would just take it in between when I didn't have anything else to take, and that was only like a couple times. And so I really had a bad first impression of Suboxone. And so when my husband said, hey, like, listen, I've got on Suboxone, I was really upset. I was pissed because I looked at him, because I had been taught by AA and NA that if you were not abstinent, then you still were getting high. If you weren't working 12 steps or doing it that way, then you were not in recovery. And that was beat into my brain, okay, for a long time. And that was the way I always tried to get sober. Not there's anything wrong with that, because you guys know that I'm a big advocate for 12 steps. I love the 12 steps. I work the 12 steps. I sponsor people through the 12 steps. But I do believe that there can be things that can assist the 12 steps, that can make it even better, that can help you to succeed in your recovery even more. And that's what Suboxone has done for me. I got on Suboxone, I got into therapy, I started working the 12 steps, I started going to meetings, and that's what I've been doing for the last 3.5 years. And now I'm tapering with my doctor. I was on 12 milligrams. So far, I've tapered down 4 milligrams, and I'm down to 8 milligrams. I don't go back to my doctor until August to taper down again. And I will let you guys know. I do taper updates, and I will put it in a playlist, and you guys can find it on my Suboxone taper playlist. So, what I want to talk to you guys about tonight, about addiction versus dependence, okay? I think that there's a big misconception when you get put on Suboxone that you're still actively using drugs and that you're still in addiction. And that might be true for some people, but let me tell you why there's a difference, okay? And so I thought we could go over the definitions of addiction and dependence, and then I could kind of tell you guys about what the difference is in my experience, okay? So here we go. All right, let's look at the definition of addiction, all right? So, addiction is a psychological and physical inability to stop consuming a chemical, drug, activity, or substance, even though it is causing psychological and physical harm. Okay? Let's say that again. Addiction is a psychological and physical inability to stop consuming a chemical, drug, activity, or substance, even though it is causing psychological and physical harm. The term addiction does not only refer to dependence on substances such as heroin or cocaine. A person who cannot stop taking a particular drug or chemical has a substance dependence. Okay? So, addiction is a chronic disease that can also result from taking medications. The overuse of prescribed opioid painkillers, for example. Okay? So, what I see here in addiction is that addiction is when I can't stop doing or taking something that is harming me. So I'm getting negative results. In a long time, you guys, like, people would argue with me, about, just because I'm dependent on Suboxone. Okay, here we go. Dependence, the state of relying on or being controlled by someone or something else, okay? Reliance on someone or something else for financial support. So here we go. So the state of relying on or being controlled. So I rely on Suboxone, okay? I have to be on it because if I jump off of it, then I will go into withdrawal, right? But I'm not experiencing any negative consequences for that. So I'm not in my active addiction, and it's not causing me harm. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's where I see the difference between dependence and addiction. Now, I do believe that you can be dependent on something and then end up becoming addicted to it. Because that happens to so many people that are on, like, pain medications, benzodiazepines, diet pills. They'll start taking their medication and they'll become dependent on it. But then they'll start liking that feeling that's produced by that drug. And then they will start to overtake it, and they will start to run out of it, and they will start searching for it. And so that's the difference. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not over here robbing stores to get on Suboxone. I'm not going to chase down the dope man to get on Suboxone. I'm not shooting Suboxone into my veins, and I think it's really important for everyone to know that, being on Suboxone isn't going to cure your addiction. You will be dependent on Suboxone. But the thing about it is, you can be dependent on many things. Just like, okay, here's the deal, you guys. I'm dependent on my mental health medications, Lexapro and Wellbutrin. Do you guys remember back in January when I tried to jump off of Lexapro and I got sick as hell? I mean, I almost lost my damn mind, y'all. because I tried to jump off Lexapro cold turkey. And I thought I was going to die. Yeah. And so here's the thing. Suboxone, you will go through withdrawal, y'all. If you try to jump off of it cold turkey, you're going to go through withdrawal. And it's going to suck. Okay? Any medication that you take over a long period of time, it could be anything. Lexapro. I tried to jump off my Lexapro. It's not an opiate. It's not an addictive substance. It is my damn medicine for my brain, an SSRI. And I had the worst withdrawals I've ever experienced in my life. My head felt it was like it was not attached to my body, you guys. I was walking around the store at my job, and my heart kept on going into fight or flight because I was having panic attacks at work while I was just walking around. It was horrible. You know what? Jumping off Lexapro cold turkey was worse than any opiate withdrawal I've ever been through. Suboxone, methadone, and Roxy. Okay, and I've been through cold turkey, methadone withdrawal like hell. Me and Neil laid in the bed for 3 weeks, making that whole upstairs bedroom smell like shit. About 6 years ago when we were coming off methadone cold turkey. Okay, and we took so much methadone back then, you guys. I took so much methadone, I could kill a whole damn army of people. Okay, you couldn't hang with me because I was zooted 24/7, 7 days a week. Okay, eyes rolled back in my head. All you saw was the whites of my eyes, looking like the bitch from The Ring. Okay, that was me on methadone. But like I said, that's why but I wasn't going to a clinic for medically assisted treatment. I was getting this big ass pill bottle full of methadone tins, and I was just eating them like they were Tic Tacs. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't in a medically assisted treatment program. Now let's talk about Suboxone, okay? I've been hearing so many people so I watched the Rewired Souls video today about Suboxone and being on it for 3 months, and how being on it for 3 months and a week or 2 weeks, it's not really that big of a difference. Being on Suboxone for 3 months isn't a long-term Suboxone taper, okay? 3 months, you guys, anything under 6 months of anything is just, it goes by so quickly. It really, really does, you guys. But here's the thing. There's a difference between addiction and dependence. There's also a difference between being sober and being in recovery, okay? And so when you get sober, you are taking away drugs and alcohol, okay? Whatever that drug or alcohol that you were, having problems with, abusing, you take that away, that's sober, okay? Recovery is the work we do. Recovery is gaining what we had once had that we lost, okay? So years ago, before I started doing drugs and alcohol, I was sane. I was happy. I had passion. Okay, I used to love to dance when I was younger. I was a cheerleader. I loved it. Okay, it was my passion, performing and helping other people. I've always been a people person. I love talking to people. I love meeting all kinds of different people, right? Before I started using drugs and alcohol, I had that passion. I had that want to help others, right? Then I started using drugs and alcohol. And drugs and alcohol stripped me of that. So I lost it. Then I got sober and took away those drugs and alcohol out of my body. And then I started working on recovering. And when I have recovered and gained back those things that I used to have, the passion inside me, the want to help others, that fire for meeting new people, I have gained back what I used to have that was lost. Now I have recovered it. I am recovering from a seamlessly hopeless state of mind and body. Okay? Taking away drugs and alcohol is just the beginning of getting your life together. Okay? It's barely the tip of the iceberg. Okay? Barely the tip of the iceberg. So when I see people who are on heroin and other strong opiates and they're struggling to get sober and they keep relapsing, and it's, you guys, I see a lot of people that relapse that are on opiates and methamphetamine. And those are my favorite drugs. Methamphetamine, because I feel like a lot of people are, okay, hold on, Robbie. I just started going to AA, and I'm starting to learn acceptance. It's egotistical to think you want someone to follow in your footsteps, so just accept others' ways and opinions. Yeah, exactly. Okay, and that's what they teach us there, Robbie, is that we are supposed to just be loving and tolerant. Meet the addict or the alcoholic where they're at and say, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I will be here with you to walk you through this. It doesn't matter if they're on X, Y, Z, or D. Okay, that's what I've been trying to get at this whole time. So, since you brought up acceptance, I'll read something to you guys, and I'll teach you a little bit, or show you a little something. Okay. So, in the back of the big book, there's this page. It's called "Acceptance is the Answer to My Problems Today." Okay, and this is what Robbie is talking about. So I'm going to read it to you guys, okay? So it says, okay, so let's read the story, okay? So this is a whole story called "Acceptance Was the Answer," but I'm going to kind of go back a little bit and read a little bit to you. So it says, I had already given up all the narcotics, most of the pills, and some of the alcohol when I first came to AA. Okay, do you hear this? Do you hear this? So this guy had given up the alcohol and most of the pills. Okay, so that just goes to show you guys, anybody is welcome in any A. Okay, as long as you have a desire to stop drinking, or desire to stop using drugs, or desire to stop overeating, or desire to stop snorting heroin, like whatever that's the only due or for membership. Okay, so it says, I had already given up all narcotics, most of the pills, and some of the alcohol when I first came to AA. By early July, I had tapered off alcohol completely, and I got off all pills in the ensuing few months. When the compulsion to drink left, it was relatively easy to stay off alcohol. But for some time, it was difficult to keep from taking a pill when I had an appropriate symptom, such as cough, pain, anxiety, insomnia, a muscle spasm, or an upset stomach. It has gotten progressively easier. Today, I feel I have used up my right to chemical peace of mind. Okay, so what he's saying is he has given up his right to use those chemicals to help him with his pain. Okay, which some people won't even take a pain pill or an ibuprofen because they just don't want to do it. But I'm here to tell you that you don't have to do that. You're not, just because you're a member of AA doesn't mean we want you to struggle. Doesn't mean we want you to be in pain, right? We just got to be careful. We have to be mindful that, you know, if we're early, like for me, if I'm early in my sobriety and I break my leg, you guys, just because I'm a member of AA or NA doesn't mean that I can't go take pain pills. What it means is I'm going to need to get someone to hold my pain pills from me, dispense them to me as they're prescribed. I'm going to have to set up, you know, things to make sure that I don't set myself up for failure. You hear me? Oh, yeah. Robbie, I don't worry about others bad-mouthing Suboxone, but what I do worry about is my new people who are just getting on medically assisted treatment. Because 2 years ago, when I first started telling my story, it broke my heart when people would look at me crazy, like, because I was on medically assisted treatment, that it didn't matter what I had to say. Like, because I was on medically assisted treatment, I was some kind of, like, lower than them. Or I wasn't recovered enough. Or I wasn't, like, we're all addicts. That's the thing. We're all just trying to make it one day at a time. And that's what I'm getting at here. There's no exclusion. Okay, we're all the same. This is all inclusive. It doesn't matter how you get sober or what your drug of choice was or how long you're on medically assisted treatment or if you choose to not be on medically assisted treatment. That doesn't matter. All that matters is that you're trying to change your life and that you're trying to find that passion that you once had, that those things, those laughter that you had before you started using drugs and alcohol, the happiness that you had. Like, it's like people forget what the mission is. Getting sober is like, we get sober so we can help other people find their lives, you guys. Not so we can sit here and talk shit about other people being on medically assisted treatment. We get sober so we can give back and help other people. That's why we do it. Hey guys, long time no see. Everyone is well. Hey girl, what's going on? Okay, you had a relapse? That's okay. That's okay. Are you all right? You know what, Sandra? Sometimes that's good, because if we get too many of our meds, then we know what we'll do. Okay, so let me read a little bit farther, okay? It helped me a great deal to become convinced that alcoholism was a disease, not a moral issue, okay? That I had been drinking as a result of a compulsion, even though I had not been aware of the compulsion at the time. So think about it, you guys. An obsessive compulsive disorder. That's what we do. When we drink and use, we're drinking and using because of a compulsion. That's what I tell you guys about, the trigger, thought, use. Okay? When we start obsessing, we go into using. And that's when I tell you guys about the little, like, disease process. So that way, okay, I know a lot of us, it might be hard to identify when we're going through something like that. But you guys, I'm telling you, we've got to get you, everybody here, on this mindfulness. And I don't mean mindfulness as in, I mean mindfulness as in recognizing what you're going through when you're going through it, okay? Recognizing that you're struggling, all right? So, S. Williams, tell us, girl, when you relapsed, what happened? How did it start out, okay? What did you stop doing? I want to know. Did you start hanging out with your old friends? Did you lose your job? Did something bad happen? Did you get in a fight with your old man? Tell us what happened that set that relapse into motion. And I'm going to read this. Okay. I had not been aware of the compulsion at the time, and that sobriety was not a matter of willpower. You hear that, you guys? Sobriety is not a matter of willpower. The people of AA had something that looked much better than what I had, but I was afraid to let go of what I had in order to try something new. There was a certain sense of security in the familiar. So even though he knew that the people there were like, they had this thing that he wanted to have too, he would have rather be secure in his shit, the habits that he had been practicing for so long. Thanks for bringing awareness in your channel. I found your channel at a time I needed it. I feel embarrassed and alone. My recent relapse in March has affected my loved ones so severely. Hey, Sophia. I got your message on Instagram. I messaged you back last night. I said, hey, girl, and then I totally stopped, and then I went back, and I think I messaged you back last night in the middle of the night. Sorry about that, but sometimes girl, back to you. I'm glad you're here. You know, that's what we do when we relapse, you guys. We hurt our families so much, but you know what even hurts worse? We're hurting ourselves. That's what we keep doing it over and over and over again. It's not because we want to hurt anybody else. It's not because we don't love our families. It's because we don't love ourselves. That's why we keep doing that to ourselves. That's why we have to learn to love ourselves and learn that we deserve recovery. That would be very helpful for us to know, S. Williams. I thought I could hang with an old friend. Relapse, not even 15 minutes of seeing them. Most of my relapses are because I see old friends, people, places, and things, everyone. Thank you, S. Williams, so much for sharing that. Girl, I can totally relate. Let me just tell you. Every single time I would go back out, you guys, it was because I would go around other people that were using. And it was like this obsession of mine. And we talked about that. Remember, you guys? We talked about that back in There Is a Solution. We talk about the delusion that one day we'll be able to drink and use like normal people. And that we will go around and we will touch that hot stove and we'll say, that hot stove's not going to burn me. And then we stick our hand on it and it burns us. That's what we do when we're going around and hanging out with our dope friends, you guys. We're going and we're hanging out with fire. We might as well just lay down and not even have any defense, okay? Just let them shoot it in our veins. Let them stick it in our nose for us. Because that's how it is. Sticking your hand on a hot fucking fire. That's what we're doing when we go hang out with our old friends. And I know you could listen to me, guys. Like, I'm not a prude, okay? Like, I had a hell of a lot of people I kicked it with here in Little Rock. I used to get high with half the fucking state, okay? And I was over at everyone's house, passed out in people's driveways, laying on top of cars. I mean, y'all just don't even understand. And when I got sober this last time, I had to pull away from those people because you guys, the deal about it is, hey, Serenity, is when we're using and we're drinking, we're not thinking about our friends who are trying to get sober if they are. We don't want to hurt them, but we're not thinking, oh, I shouldn't be doing this around them. You know? Hey, what's up? Hello, I'm new to the group. I intended on being here for the whole, I'm so glad you're here. That's Shadow, you guys. Roland is Shadow. He emailed me. What's up, Shadow? Welcome to the group. I'm so glad you're here. And there's no shame. Listen, SWMs, there's no shame. I'm so glad you came in here and felt confident or felt comfortable enough to share that you have went through a relapse. You too, Sophia, because listen to me. We've got to start identifying why we're relapsing, and then we can start working on changing those behaviors. You know what I'm saying? And here's the deal, SWMs. We have to separate ourselves from those people. Hey, Haunted. I know you guys, listen to me, I know it's hard. And these might be people that you've known your entire life. I promise you, listen to me. I promise you, if they're your real friends, it's okay, Candy, come on in, girl. If they're your real friends, you guys, they're going to understand and they're going to want you to get better. If they're your real friends, they might even try to get sober too. Okay? But you just got to tell them goodbye. Please understand this. I would not tell you a lie. I tried to keep my same friends around for 10 years. 10 years. 10 years, 5 rehabs, and 1 prison stint, okay? And I finally learned I got to get rid of them. And you know what? My sister was my best friend. And I stopped hanging out with my sister because she was in active addiction when I got sober. My sister was my ride or die, okay? And I had to stop being around her. And it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my whole entire life. But guess what? Now my sister's sober, you guys. My sister's been sober for almost 3 years now. 2.5. So I had to pull away from her and I cut her off. She wasn't allowed in my house. When she came over for Christmas dinner, I went in the room. I told my mom, tell her to leave her purse in her car because I knew she had Xanaxes in her purse. You guys, it was that serious. I had to do it because if I didn't, I was risking losing my son. And that's how serious it was for me. And you will find new friends. You'll come here and you're making friends here, you guys. Like, I'm making friends here, right? Like, being a mom and having kids, I love being able to get on the internet here and talk with you guys and share with you guys what I've gone through, so that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I've made so many friends here. And then when you start going to meetings, if you try meetings, you will meet people there too. I want to, one day, you guys, I want it to be where there's medically assisted treatment anonymous meetings in every state where people can go and be there and feel safe and not feel judged.
Mom?
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too, kid. I know there are in some bigger states, but here where I live, no. So.
Mommy, I want something to eat.
Okay, hold on. Daddy's going to be home in just a second with some food. He's bringing home something, buddy.
I don't want that.
What do you want?
What do we have?
You let me do this class and then I'll make you something to eat.
What?
Or you can go in the refrigerator and get you a Lunchable. Okay?
Mommy.
Love you. Okay.
Do you have cereal?
Yeah?
I want cereal. With regular milk and I want to...
Hey! People in NA and AA are the same people you would party with, just on the other side. Exactly.
Don't.
Do not touch that.
Don't listen
No, he's
to
not
mommy,
being,
guys.
you
Don't
know,
listen to mommy.
He's not being good, y'all. Hold on, let me go give him some cereal. Come on. Come on.
Mommy, I want cereal. I want
I'm going to give you the popper kind.
Mommy,
Yes, Nate.
I want my cereal and milk and
I'm going to put milk in it, son. Here.
another tree.
Here.
I want more milk for another tree.
There. y'all. Sorry about that. Sorry, guys. Okay. Okay, let's see what y'all are saying. One of my biggest obstacles is getting out of my own way. I've become really isolative. I make sure to make it to all my appointments. You know what, Sophia? That really is something that I struggle with too. My sponsor at the beginning when I first got sober, she made me go. Well, I say made me, but she suggested that I go, you know, because I would be embarrassed. I don't know if it was embarrassed or ashamed or awkward. That's what it is. It's like an awkward. I felt awkward when I first got sober and started going in front of people, like just around people. Like I almost didn't know how to act without drugs and alcohol in my system because I had spent so many years in active addiction that I didn't know how to act once I got sober. I felt like I talked too loud. I felt like everybody was staring at me. The amount of awkward feelings that I had were just so, it was so hard. And that's what it felt like. It felt like I would walk into the room and everybody was staring at me. But it wasn't that, you guys. It was just because I had never been sober before. I had never not been high out of my mind, you know? Even being on medically assisted treatment, you guys, when I hear people say that Suboxone produces a euphoria, I laugh my ass off because I am so damn sober. I'm sober as a damn judge, y'all. I've never been this sober in my whole entire life. Ever. So when I would start going around people, I didn't know how to act. I didn't know how to talk. I didn't know how to check out at the checkout stand. I didn't know how to, like, order something when I was going through the drive-thru. Like, I felt so awkward, you know? But here we go. But I have been pushing to after getting on the road to recovery recently, and I have a bunch to do with the kids right now. I'll be back. Okay, Roland. We'll see you, babe. Thanks for coming in, bub. Even when I got on medically assisted treatment, you guys, like it didn't produce a buffer or a euphoria or a feeling that made me feel like I could go around people. It was still such a shock to my system being sober without drugs in my system, without being screwed up, you know, because I depended so highly on substances to get me through my days. I would wake up in the morning and that was the first thing I did before my feet hit the ground was either get my dope out and shoot a shot or call my dope man and drive to his house. Like, that's how I lived my life. That was what I had to do to be okay each day. So when you get off drugs, it's hard because it's all new. It's all new. Think about it, you guys. How long have you guys been actively using drugs and alcohol? Think about it right now. Stop for a second and look. Say, okay, I started drugs when I was 17 and I am 32. That's how old I was when I got sober. That's a long time to be actively using drugs and alcohol, you guys. So whenever you get sober, you've done forgot what it was like before you got on drugs and alcohol when you were a little baby, when you were 12, 13, 14, 15, whatever. That's when the last time your brain was free from that fog. So when you go out and you are around others and you are like trying to talk to people, think about that, okay? So when you get sober and you've been sober for 6 months or a year and you're struggling, take it easy. Don't be so hard on yourself. It's totally normal for you to be isolating and struggling. Do we want you to isolate? Do I want you to struggle? Hell no. But I'm telling you, it's not anything that is not normal. Isolation is something that we do. It's like a hiding out, right? And so one of the things for me is like getting on here and like talking with you guys and like keeping recovery at the forefront of my mind so I don't forget, because with me, my mind is so, it's like my mind wants to forget automatically, you guys. I mean, I could wake up tomorrow and forget that I was ever a drug addict and go right back to shooting dope. That's how quickly my mind resorts back to the feelings that were produced by drugs and alcohol, the feel-good feelings, the euphoria. You know, SWMs, I honestly do not think that it's healthy in the beginning, because here's the deal. This is why I think this. In the beginning, we need to do things that we are uncomfortable doing. We need to get up, we need to get out, and we need to take care of business in the beginning. Because if we're not getting out and we're not talking and we're not being around people who are in recovery actively, you know, staying sober, actively coming on here and doing groups, actively like calling people, you guys, it's so important to, whatever that is for you, okay? Okay, let's talk about Jason. Jason has got agoraphobia, you guys. He doesn't go out of his house unless his mom is with him and they go to the grocery store. She is his buffer, okay? For Jason, isolation for him would be not calling me on the phone, not coming on here to the meetings, you know. And so he makes sure that he calls his sponsor every day. He comes and does these meetings. He makes videos of his own. Everybody's like situation is going to be different, right? Like, I do know that some people really do struggle with social anxiety and getting out and about. It's hard, okay? But if you can get out, you guys, and go to at least one meeting a week, maybe one meeting every other week, just 2 meetings a month, I promise you it will change your life. It will change your life. It will make you feel so much better. Because you know why? Because you are going to meet other people there who are just like you. You are going to hear other people sharing their stories, and it is going to lift the weight off your shoulders. And you're not going to be carrying that burden by yourself anymore. You know?
Mommy.
That's why we do this here, because this is a way for you to get out of that isolation. Yes. Baby, please stop. Please, Nate. What can I do for you, Alexander?
I have to text him.
What?
Probably if this guy is Edgar body thing for him, if it got destroyed, he goes in this one.
Okay. I'll hold. You want me to hold it for you? Okay. Yeah, they have video meetings. They have www.intherooms.com. I mean, there's all kinds of different places that you can go and get connected, you guys. You're welcome, Roland. It's all good, Shadow. Don't even worry about it. You're cool with us. Come back next week. You better be here. I want you guys to push yourselves outside of your comfort zone, okay? Because when we're alone in our own thoughts and we're sitting at home and we're like, okay, this is what my sponsor always told me, all right? If I don't want to go to a meeting, if I don't want to come on here and do this class with you guys, our little mat support group meeting, guess what? That means I need to do it the most. Because when I don't want to do something, that means I need it. You know what I'm saying? My first thought, you guys, is just like always the wrong thing. Okay, there's days where like I don't want to come on here. I don't want to talk about recovery. I don't lay in my bed and be lazy. But I'm going to tell you something. When I come on here and I get off after doing this with you guys, I'm happier than I've ever been. It's like it relieves me, right? And I get to share with you guys. I get to answer your questions. I get to hear your parts of your stories, you know? I just don't want you guys to feel like you're alone, because you're not. You're not alone. You're always welcome here. I'm so glad. S. Williams, please, girl, email me and get a hold of me. I will add you. Y'all, if y'all want to, I'll start a little separate Hangouts group for you guys to talk to each other in. The only reason I don't do that is because I have seen yeah, you should, Candy. The only reason I worry about making like a Hangouts group for all of us is because I've seen how people that are not serious come in, and then it just kind of like makes a wish-wash of everything. So if you guys want to talk to me one-on-one, all you have to do is email me, and I will always give you a call. Always. Like, it's no big deal. I don't mind calling you guys. Weeks or grocery shopping for over a month. I know. Serenity, that's fine, hun. I'm saying, yeah. So here's the thing. it's keeping you sick and keeping you hiding out, Krissy, and that's why we got to get you up and get you out. You guys, I did that same thing where I just didn't want to leave. But I'm telling you guys, please listen to me. Push yourself just a little bit. Push yourself. So today, let me talk to you guys. Today, me and Nate went out. We saw a movie and we went shopping, right? Oh, girl, you know he's over here acting like a fool. What are you doing, son?
I'm showing a little black.
Hey, Nate, look at me right now. Go upstairs right now. Go. Okay. Okay. We went to a movie today. Me and Nate went to a movie. Okay. We went to TJ Maxx afterward. And oh God, Candy, you have no idea. We went and we just had like a day for me and him. And as you can see, spoiled rotten, it didn't do any good. I don't know. You guys, I'm telling you right now, like, I do everything for my son. And we had such a great day today being out and about. He just got back from his friend's house. I've been on here, 42 minutes out of the whole day. And look where he is. Right up underneath me. It wouldn't matter if I waited until 12 midnight to film. My son will come down. He will just come down. He always does. So don't worry about it. It's all good. So you guys, I don't want you guys to isolate. Okay, please don't isolate. Try to get out and get out and about. Try to come over here and hang out with us. You know, like, because what happens is we start getting all alone in our minds. You know, and then when we get alone in our minds, it's just not a good place to be. Y'all ever hear that saying that stinking thinking? When we're alone in our own minds, it's like a battlefield, right? And then a lot of the times when I'm alone in my own mind, I'm beating myself up. I'm questioning myself. I'm thinking I'm not good enough, right? And so whenever I can get around other people like you guys and hear about how you guys think the same things, and we all go through, right, the same, we feel that, you know, we all question ourselves. I think it's totally normal for, you know, us to struggle, you know, even if we're not in recovery, right? Even if we're like just regular people and we don't even do drugs, like everybody struggles. Yes, it is a bad place to be, you guys, alone in your own mind. That's why it's really important for us to get into the habit of reaching out and just checking in with somebody, you guys. Listen, you don't have to call somebody every day. If you'll just text and say, hey girl, it's me. I just wanted to check in, let you know I'm doing okay. Or if you're not doing okay, hey girl, I'm struggling. I'm not doing okay. And then talk about it. Say, can you call me? Or I don't really feel like talking right now, but can we talk tomorrow? You know, I have a couple of girls that I talk to, and sometimes we don't want to talk that day, but we'll call each other the next day. You know, and sometimes it just feels good, you guys, to be able to get that out of get it off your mind, right? So you're not the only one because I don't know what it is about my mind, but I know that sometimes I just think that I'm the only one that could possibly feel this way. You know what I mean? Nate, what are you doing, boy? Go. Go.
No.
Nate.
I'm just coming.
What do you want to do in here?
I'm just coming to get this.
Okay, I love you. Give me a kiss. Okay. Love you. I don't know what it is, but sometimes I feel like I'm the only one that feels these feelings, and that I think that, you know, am I going crazy? Am I the only one who thinks that I'm not doing a good job? Am I, you know, not the only, I don't know. It's just so hard, you guys. I know how hard it can be. You know what I mean? And listen, Lee, I'm the same way. Like, I will literally ignore the door if I don't want to go answer it, right? Sometimes I just don't want to come out of my room, right? Sometimes, but y'all, I'm telling you, if you have kids, you can't just do that. Like, for me, I cannot do it. But back in the day, before I had Nathaniel, shoot, I would black out the windows. I would put aluminum foil on the windows, y'all. Draw the blinds, pull the curtains over, right? And I would be underneath. Hey, Zach, what are you doing? I'd be underneath the covers looking like a crazy crackhead, like peeping. Because I didn't want to come out. I don't want to be bothered. Some days, we talked about this the other day. Remember, Krissy, we talked about this. There's some days where I just don't want to be bothered. There's some days where I don't want to come on here and talk about anything. Like, there's some days where I just have bad days. You guys, that's normal. Like, I have those days in recovery, right? In recovery. I used to wear tinfoil on my head. I believe it too, girl. Listen, there's some days, even in my recovery, you guys, where I just don't feel like doing anything, right? And sometimes I think it's really important for us to realize that that's okay. You know what? It's okay to not want to be doing something all the time. That's what I'm trying to teach my son, is that sometimes life's not always going to be fun. Life isn't always going to be a big old party, you know? Sometimes we just got to be chilling, right? Sometimes we just got to be okay with being okay. But listen, if you're in early recovery and you are struggling with being inside your mind, you find yourself pulling away from everyone and isolating, you need to pick one person. Listen to me, y'all. If you're struggling and you're isolating and you're not coming out of your house, you're not taking showers, you're not going to work, listen to me. You need to pick one person. Hey, Priscilla, that you can reach out to, that you will reach out to, and you need to make sure that you're talking to that person every day. You need to text them or call them, because that person, you're going to get to know that person, and that person's going to get to know you, and they're going to call and check on you when they don't hear from you. Okay, that's just what it is. You do not. Why do it alone? Why are you trying to do all this all by yourself? That's what I want to know. Is it because you think that you should be able to do it on your own? Because let me just tell you, you know what that is? That's pride, okay? And I used to be the same way. My pride got in the way of my recovery. Hey, girl, because I thought I could do this on my own. And so I wouldn't call anybody. I wouldn't reach out. I wouldn't go to meetings. Shoot, you weren't finding me nowhere but in the house locked up by myself, you know? And that's because that pride kept me from reaching out. You're not alone. You don't have to do this by yourself. And that's what we got to start realizing, you guys. Like, why torture yourself, right? Get one person in your life that you can depend on, that's in recovery too, that you can talk to anytime, day or night, right? I mean, it really is. Jason. Ask Jason, you guys. Jason and I have been working together for 6 months now, okay? And there's days where Jason, I won't hear from him maybe for 3 days tops, right? 3 days tops. But one of us always calls the other person, right? Within 3 days. If I don't hear from him for 3 days, I call him. If he doesn't hear from me for 3 days, he calls me, vice versa, right? Even when we don't want to talk, we at least call or text and say, hey, what's up? And then, you know what? There's some days when I call and he's like, I don't feel like talking. I got a headache. You know, we're like, okay, bye. Love you, bye. No big deal. No big deal. Right? And okay, let me kind of tell y'all an example. There's some things that have happened in our relationship, right? Where he has had appointments with his doctor, and I could tell that maybe he didn't want to talk to me about it, but we went ahead and talked about it, and then we felt better about the situation. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you need that person who's going to push you or get that out of you that you're not sharing, right? kind of like pull it out of you a little bit, coax you a little bit. But that's how you build a relationship. If you're not connecting with somebody or you're not building that relationship, it's really hard, right? It's so important, you guys. I want you to know, like, recovery is not something you need to be doing by yourself. It's so important for you to have one person that you can talk to, because it's hard. It's lonely sometimes. Listen, because what you're doing is you're learning how to not cope with drugs and alcohol, okay? You're no longer taking substances to deal with the feelings that you're going through, all right? I love being here. So many people like myself. Nicole, your channel is helping me so much. I'm so glad, girl. You don't understand. It makes me so happy to hear that, because that's all I want to do is help you guys and us be a little family over here. And I love doing this with you guys. Like, this helps me too. But I want y'all to understand, like, it's been difficult for me to make relationships with sponsors. Let me share that with you guys. So I've gone through a couple of sponsors in my day. Let me just tell you about that. And I don't know, what I'm starting to learn is that it was because I didn't want to follow through. I wanted to flake out on a lot of things, and my sponsor would hold me accountable. Okay, if I made a commitment and said I would be at the meeting on Tuesday, and then I flat out and didn't show up, my sponsor would hold me accountable and say, hey, you said you were going to be at the meeting on Tuesday and you didn't show up. What's going on? Do you understand? Not reaching out and connecting with somebody is a way for us to slip on through the cracks and do things our way. And what has gotten us to where we're at today? What way? My way. My way of running my life is what got me into active drug addiction. My way of running my life is what's got me into prison. My way of running my life is what got me into treatment 5 times. My way of running my life is what got my son taken from me. So, a sponsor or an accountability partner or a mentor is somebody that's going to help you stay accountable. And sometimes that sucks, because we want to be lazy ass bitches. Bottom line. And we don't want to push through, but we want the results, right? Like, I don't want to do all that work for sobriety, but I want to be sober, right? I want to have the recovery results. And that's what it is, you guys. Getting sober and getting into recovery is it's work. You're going to do a lot of work on the inside. You're going to do a lot of stuff that's uncomfortable, right? Like talking to other people. That was uncomfortable for me when I got sober, because I didn't know how to talk without drugs. Going out and doing things in the real world was hard for me because I didn't know how to do it without substances. All right? So get somebody, you guys. I don't care who it is, all right? Get somebody that you can talk to that will help you stay accountable, right? Really, really do it, you guys. And it will help you so much in your recovery. We do meetings here twice a week. And then on Sundays, we're fixing to add in Sundays. So listen, just here on my channel, you have access to 1,200 other people, okay? And you have access to AA here, a big book study, medically support, and then Sundays we're going to start doing the Narcotics Anonymous big book. We're going to learn that together. We're going to read through it together from front to back. Y'all hear me? So you can come here and you can learn about your disease. And you can listen and you can learn tips and tricks on how to be better in your recovery, how to stay sober, right? You can read other people's things. You can hear my experience. I mean, there's always something to be learned when you're here, right? Like, if it's not from me, it'll be from somebody else, you know? Hearing other people's experiences, you guys, that's what showed me that, like, you know what? I'm like all these other people. We all fucked up, right? And that's why we're here. Like, just because I fucked up a different way than you fucked up doesn't make my fuck up worse or your fuck up worse. We're all just trying to get better. So the goal here is to become better people, to get into recovery and become better people, no matter what way you do it, right? And exactly, so it's practicing, okay? That's why I wanted this in Narcotics Anonymous book, y'all, because I've read the big book like 3 times from front to back, probably more than that. And I love reading the stories, but I want to learn something that I haven't learned before from the Alcoholics Anonymous book. So I thought, well, you know what? We're going to do the NA book next, you know? So I love it. And I feel like it's constantly stimulating my mind. It's constantly reminding me that I'm not different than anybody else, that I can't go out and get high tomorrow because I'm going to relapse and die if I do, because that's what the disease of addiction tells me. It tells me that somehow I'm different than you guys and that maybe I can just go out and do a little here and there, I cannot tell you how many times my mind will tell me it's okay to get a Xanax. All the time, you guys. I don't know what it is about Xanaxes in my brain, but my brain will say, girl, you just go get one Xanax. Thank you. Thank God, because I haven't acted on that thought. But you know what? That's the thing. Like, I'm practicing learning how to not act on those thoughts. Because there's thoughts that come into my mind sometimes that are not good thoughts. Like the other day when I was crying and I was really upset. I was just like, fuck it. And I haven't been like that in a long time. I haven't had that, like, fuck it mentality in a long time. And that's how upset I was, you know what I'm saying? And then I was like, fuck it, girl, are you crazy? Girl, look how far you've come. And you're going to fuck it over some trolls? Oh, hell no. Y'all see me now? So, anyway. Let me just read this acceptance part, and then we will go on to the, then I'm going to go ahead and call Neil and see what Nate's doing, because I can hear him in there in the sink. So here we go. Acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. When I am disturbed, it is because I find some person, place, or thing, or situation, some fact of my life unacceptable, and I can find no serenity until I accept that person, place, thing, or situation as being exactly the way it is supposed to be at this moment. Nothing, absolutely nothing, happens in God's world by mistake. Until I could accept my alcoholism, I could not be sober. Neil?
Yeah.
Okay. You're here?
Yeah, I'm fixing something to eat.
When did you get here?
2 seconds ago.
Okay. Well, there's Neil. Until I could accept my alcoholism, I could not stay sober unless I accept life completely on life's terms. I cannot be happy. I need to concentrate not so much on what needs to be changed in the world as on what needs to be changed in me and my attitudes. So there's always room for improvement, right? And whenever I'm struggling with something, and I'm currently going through getting off Klonopin. I was an opiate addict and a crack addict, but my daughter put me on a benzo. Hey, Priscilla, I'm so glad you're here. Listen to this, I've been there with the benzodiazepines before, sister, and let me just tell you, that shit happens, and take it slow. Taper off your, taper slow. Do not be ashamed. You're welcome here. Have you been staying sober except for being on your benzos? Or have you been struggling just in general with just addiction? Here's the thing that I think, Priscilla. I know that a lot of us probably don't think this, but whenever I see my doctor, I always remind him that I'm in recovery. Because sometimes I think our doctors see so many people that they forget. And if he forgets that I'm in recovery, then what if something happens and he wants to give me something like that? Y'all know what's going to happen. If I get on a benzo, I will steal the whole damn Walmart. Do y'all hear me? I will clean it out. I mean, when I get on Xanax or any kind of benzo, I am out of my mind. Shoot. Yeah, that's what happens, Lee. If you just jump off them cold turkey, you can die from seizures. S. Williams, I'm so glad you're here, girl. I noticed that you hadn't been in the last couple of meetings. What about 3 weeks, huh? My psychiatrist totally knew I was an opiate addict, but I knew what that benzo would do. Priscilla, that's what we do. We know what it's going to do. We know it's going to make us feel good. And so that's that disease of addiction. The disease of addiction takes over and pushes out any kind of right thinking, any kind of like, hey, maybe I shouldn't do this. So the addict in me said yes, exactly. That's why we need to have somebody, like I was talking about earlier, like an accountability partner or a sponsor or anyone that we can call and we can say, girl, I'm at the doctor right now, and he's fixing to write me a prescription for benzos. What you think I should do? And then your friend can drive down there and slap the shit out of you. Because you know, if you get that shit, what's going to happen? But sometimes we just need to tell on ourselves, because when we tell on ourselves, it takes away the power, you know? Don't jump off, please, taper. Yeah, always taper. Always taper. Don't listen to what anybody says. Just taper with your doctor and you should be just fine. And don't get discouraged. Listen, don't go out and look up a bunch of benzo withdrawal videos or anything like that either, because I'm telling you what, everybody's situation is different, you guys. Everybody's reaction to tapering is going to be different. The way you feel is going to feel different. Everything, okay? Just take it slow and get connected. Get yourself some sober support and, you know, stick with the winners. Stay over here. Hang out with us. You're welcome here. Like I said, I do these meetings every Friday, Tuesday, and now I'm adding Sundays. So we're going to be doing Sunday, Tuesdays, and Fridays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So yeah, so just, I feel like benzo withdrawal, you guys, is different because of the post-acute withdrawal that you experience afterward. But I'm telling you, listen, Priscilla, when I got off, I was on benzos hardcore, okay? I went into detox, and when I came out, I was taking them for 2 weeks while I was in treatment. I was sneaking them in. And then all of a sudden, they caught me. And I got cut off. And so I went through, you know, withdrawal from them, which was, it's like a weird withdrawal with benzos. It's like your head don't feel, kind of like with Lexapro, like your head's not attached to your body. It's just a weird sensation. And so I went through that, and then, you know, I guess what happened was I was so focused on being in opiate withdrawal that I didn't really focus much on my benzo withdrawal, you know? But I made it. Let's just say that I haven't taken a benzo in 4 years in July. So in July, it'll be 4 years that I have been sober from everything except for Suboxone that I'm prescribed. So if I can stay off of them, you can too, right? You can do it too. And I loved taking them. Like that was probably, that was one of the main things that I like to do. And then I would get in my car and drive myself into brick walls. So... anyway, yeah, I really enjoyed talking with you guys. I love coming on here and just chatting with y'all and just trying to, you know, I love just starting out like on a topic like we did today, addiction versus dependence, which now we all know there's a difference, right? And then just kind of letting it flow and just reading y'all's comments and just talking back and forth. And you know, I really, really, really love doing this. It literally makes my day, y'all. Like, me and Nate, we got home, and I was like, I got to do my meeting at 7, you know, because I knew Neil was going to be home, so I went ahead and scheduled it for 7, so that way when I come on here, you know, it'll be all cool. You know what? Welcome to anybody who's finding my channel for the first time. Like, you're welcome here anytime. Like, we have a really awesome group of people in this chat, you guys. Like, seriously, you're basically going to have the most amazing support system every time you come into a chat here on my channel. Because everyone here wants to be sober. Everyone here wants recovery. Okay? Keep coming back. Everybody here is going forward in the same motion, right? And some of us fall back, right? But then we pick them up and we pull you back on track with us. And that's all you got to do. Like, listen, do not let relapse keep you out, y'all. If you relapse, shake yourself off, dust your shoulders off, and get right back on track. Do not stay out. Because what happens is, the longer you stay out in active addiction and a relapse, the harder it is to come back in. Okay? So just get back up, dust yourself off, and come on over. Do not even trip. Don't worry about it. If you can, like we did with Miss S. Williams, okay, and Sophia, look at your relapse and say, what did I do wrong? Where did I fuck up? And so we identified it. We wanted to hang out with our old friends that we're using. So that is the number one thing we have got to remember. I can't go out with those people. I can't hang out with people like that. I've got to separate myself from it. You know what, you guys? It can be a little bit lonely at first. But that's why you got people like us over here on this channel. Because you come over here and be lonely with us. You know? I would much rather be lonely than be out relapsing. Okay? I would much rather. I came from a channel where the person who was in recovery ended up in prison for dealing meth. The community was very supportive of her, but she totally fooled us and used us for money. What? Really? Where? Was that? Oh, wait a second. Priscilla. Was that Gina? Because, I pretty much know everybody in the recovery community. Oh, oh, wow. I'll have to look her up. I mean, does she have her content up still? That makes me so sad. Well, listen, Priscilla, you don't have to worry about that over here, honey. Okay? We ain't going to take your money. Okay? If you want to become a member of my Patreon, that's on you. But that's $5, $10, and $25 tiers. And that's totally different than what my channel is. Like, I have just Patreon content over there. And it's like more personal, you know. And it's a lot smaller group of girls. But you will never have to worry about me trying to get over on y'all. Okay? Hi, yep, I'm right now for money. Because I have my own job. I have my husband who has a job. Like, I am literally just here because I love making videos. I love sharing with other people what I've been through. Like I said, so you don't have to go through the same thing. Okay? Please, you guys. Like, and Priscilla, that breaks my heart that people do that. Because what that does is it gives people like me, it makes people not want to come over here and trust me, right? They think, oh, well, I don't want to go over there because that girl's probably going to do me like that girl did me, right? And I'm just telling you guys, like, that is not how it is over here. Like, I'm not ever going to ask y'all to donate shit to me, okay? Like, you don't ever have to do anything like that. I think the only time we've ever done any kind of donations over here was when we got into the halfway house. And that was for somebody that was getting into the halfway house. And let me tell you guys, I talked to Ian and his mom. The other day, he was, I called him, and I think it was, Memorial Day. And he put his mom on the phone, and she was like, thank you so much for helping my son. And I was just like, hey, it's all good, you know? Like, I would have done the same thing for anybody, you know? Like, that's... If my son was in that situation, I hope somebody would help him, you know? So, and now, you guys, he has an interview with Kroger. Like, I'm telling you guys, like, this kid, he's going to have a job. I'm giving him a little bit of time, and when he gets all situated, we'll have him on the channel, and you guys can see him. Because a lot of you girls are going to be like, ooh, because he's a good-looking kid. He's a good-looking kid. And he's very, very smart, you guys. Like, He's a doctor. He had his own practice and he like went down the wrong hill, you know? That's what happens. And you guys, that's another thing. It's like heroin does not discriminate. It doesn't care if you were raised up in a good family, okay, if you're rich or poor, black or white, Mexican, whatever. It does not matter, okay? Addiction will take you down. Please, you guys, you're not alone. You don't have to do this journey alone. Hang out. Stay with me. Don't leave, okay? We got you over here. I cannot tell you, like, what? Jason, Krissy, Candy, we all talk to each other. Like, I don't talk to you guys every single day. Some of you do. Some I don't. But I talk to you guys. And I give my phone numbers out, you guys. So if you guys want to call me, you can. Right? Like, I will just give you my number. And then we can talk on the phone. Sonia, you guys, Sonia is the new secretary of this channel. She is printing up and getting copies of the big book chapters for us for next week. And she is on point. She has a whole Google Drive. So that way you guys can follow along with us on Tuesday when we do big book study. And so if it wasn't for her, because y'all know how I am not very technological savvy. And so if it wasn't for Sonia making those readings for us, then I don't know what I'm doing. So this channel is like a whole, you guys, this is a dedication to all of our blood, sweat, and tears. Like, you guys helped me so much. If it wasn't for you guys being here, being active, then think about it. I would just be talking to myself, right? So y'all just, I love my channel. I'm so proud of y'all. I'm so proud of us. Like, we're growing. Let's look at the channel. Let's look at we're getting, new people are coming over. And there's something that I realized, you guys, like, here on my channel, it's like, I'll have my regulars who are always here, and then people filter in, and then they'll come back around, and then they'll come back. And it's like, I watch y'all. I know every one of you guys. You might not think that I remember you. You might not think that I see you. I read your comments. Every one of y'all's comments. I love talking to you guys. I love it. I love going back through and going through your comments and putting hearts on all of them. And like I said, if you reach out to me and email me, I will email you right back automatically, immediately. I love talking with you guys, and I just don't want you guys to feel like you're alone. If you're on methadone or Suboxone, I don't want you to feel like you should be ashamed because of that, or that you're not a good person, or that you're less than because of that. I want you to feel confident in the treatment plan that you have, okay? And I want you to just remember, being on methadone or Suboxone, it doesn't matter, you guys. What matters is the healing on the inside and addressing why. Why were you getting high? Why were you using drugs and alcohol, right? Think about that right now. That will be the homework for tonight. Okay, here's the deal. Listen up, ladies and gentlemen. There's 14 of y'all in here. Tonight, I want you guys to get your journals out or get a notebook out, okay? And I want you to write down why you started using drugs and alcohol. What was it because of? Was it because you were young, insecure, and wanted to fit in? Was it because you went through some kind of trauma when you were younger? Were you raped? Were you abused? Were you abandoned, misguided? Think about it, okay? And write it down. Write it down. Write a whole fucking paragraph about it, okay? And then when we come back on Sunday for our NA, we're going to talk about Narcotics Anonymous on Sunday. Then we'll talk about it. So everybody, write down why you were using drugs and alcohol. Okay? We know we like the way drugs and alcohol made us feel, but go deeper than that. Why? What was it that you were trying to not feel? Okay? And think about that. And just once you can start identifying things like that, like, why am I doing this? Then it will help you a lot, you guys. And once you see where you're at, it's like, okay, so I know that I'm struggling with insecurity. I know I'm struggling with no self-love. You know, like, these are all things that I had to start learning about myself. I used to think, listen to this. Look, I know y'all want, I know we're getting kind of an hour and 15 minutes. It wasn't confidence. You know what it was? It was pride. And pride, it was a false sense of confidence, okay? I put up this defense mechanism of, I got this. I'm so hot, blah, 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 blah. I'm outgoing. I know it all. I'm loud. That was just a deflection of what was really going on in the inside of me, which was I didn't know who I was. I didn't love myself. I thought I was ugly. I thought I was fat. I thought I was, different because my skin was brown and all the other kids at my school were white kids, and they all made fun of me for being brown and chubby and called me beaner and taco and burrito, and these are things that really stuck with me, and then if I go back even deeper, I remember missing my dad a lot because he worked all the time, and I just wanted to hang out with my dad so bad for some reason, and then I remember, if I go back even deeper than that, I remember my sister struggling with mental illness and my mom and dad being so distraught, right? So worried about my sister that they weren't really focused on what was going on with me. So I started slipping back, and then if I go back even more, I think about how, I started seeking out male attention from guys, right? Because if they loved me and we had sex, then that mean that they loved me and they wanted to be with me forever, right? And that made me feel good, or so I thought it did. Okay, you guys, it just like it on top of it's like I can go back and I can pick out more things about myself, and now that I know these things and I can see them, I'm more confident and sure of myself now at 37 years old. Chubby 37-year-old than I've ever been in my whole entire life. And I'm overweight. I'm heavier than I've ever been. But I'm going to tell you guys something. I know who I am today. And back then, I didn't. Do you understand? Thank you, Priscilla. I love you, girl. You don't understand. Like, I'm hard on myself about my weight. And y'all know that. That's one of my biggest insecurities. But even though I'm really insecure about that, I still know, you guys, like, I love myself today. I love myself enough today to know that I don't have to get high to push those feelings down anymore. I can process through those feelings today, where I used to not could do that. I used to feel like I had to hide, Yes, lonely versus loaded any day. And you guys, I just feel like giving back and helping others has been probably the most rewarding thing I've ever experienced in my life. Being able to come on here and share some of the most vulnerable, scariest, hardest moments of my life with other people and seeing them get peace of mind from what I've gone through, it has been amazing. It's like the high I can never explain to you. Hearing people that message me and reach out to me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, email, and say, I watch your videos, they've helped me so much. It's like, I don't even know how to explain to you. It's the best feeling. And yeah.
We decided to get tacos.
Oh, are y'all leaving?
Yeah.
I'm coming. Can I go with y'all? Anyway, the boys want to go get tacos, so I'm going to jump off here. But I'm telling you guys, it's the best feeling in the whole wide world to be able to be here for somebody else, because I could never do that. I was never able to be there for anybody else. Yes, Priscilla, my Twitter is at Nicole DeMeo, and it says, everything is in the description box of my videos, and I think it's in the About Me too. But I'm going to go get tacos with these boys. I love you guys so, so much. And if nobody has told you, I am proud of you. I am proud of you for coming and being present today in this meeting and hanging out with me and sharing what you're going through. You are not alone. You do not have to fight this battle on your own anymore. Welcome. Welcome to Real Talk Recovery. Welcome to our family. I love you guys, and I'm about to cry, so I got to get off. So I will see you guys later, okay? I love you, and you are not alone.